old to the new, still a B-boy. Too bold for the school, still a B-boy. East Coast to the West, B-boys worldwide. We supposed to be blessed, still a B-boy.
What's up, B-boys and B-girls? We're back with another roundtable. I know you love the West Coast top 10, so this week we're at you with the top 10 Posse tracks. We got my old school homie, Surreal the MC. Back again on the roundtable, we got Raven Hunter. And for the first time, we got Diz Mega joining us. What is up, everyone? All right, since I'm the host, I'm going to start it. So I'm going to get right into it. Now, people who know me like Surreal won't be surprised, but my number 10 is on an Ice-T album. 1989's What You Want to Do. You remember that track, Surreal?
Yeah.
He's got the whole rhyme syndicate on it. And in 89, they weren't making big Posse tracks like that. You got Everlast before House of Pain, Donald D, Nat the Cat, Hen G, Bronx Style Bob, Divine Styler. And the track was like 15 minutes long. I think everyone did 2 verses. And I thought that was so cool as a kid, because the Symphony might have been out and a few other ones, but that was a track I always loved. So, and that was really when
Dub C wasn't on that one.
No, Dub C wasn't on it. No, he was on the compilation they did because he was still in low profile, but he wasn't on that track. But this is when Ice-T's rhyme syndicate was, at its peak. It kind of sputtered out after that, but that 88, 89 time, he really had a thick posse that, he called the rhyme syndicate. So that's my number 10. What do you guys, Surreal?
My number 10 is West Coast, also Colorblind off of Ice Cube's Death Certificate, which does have Dub C coincidentally, and Coolio, because they were mad circle. King T, JD from the Lynch Mob, Cam, and Threat, who was, with CJ Pooh and everybody. That was and Sir James. That was a pretty tight circle. It was a mad circle. It was pretty, everybody kind of jumped in and on other people's albums around that era, and I just thought that Colorblind, I mean, he played like a piano, the one with King T, and they didn't have enough MCs to make the rules, so I had to go with Colorblind. It's a dope track.
No, when I cut it down to like 25, Colorblind was on my list. It was on my list. But I'll admit, I probably played like a piano better, but it didn't fit the criteria. A classic song on an absolute classic album.
For sure.
All right, we're going to the East Coast. Raven, what do you got at number 10?
Number 10, I went with Band from TV from Noriega, Nature, Big Pun, Cameron, Styles, and Jadakiss.
Oh, yeah.
It was kind of like when they were all at the height of their hype, too. It was before any Crashing and Burning from Nori and all them. Right. That song coming together, I like anything Jadakiss is in anyway, and I love Nature, Big Pun, of course, legend. So I had to go with Band from TV.
Yeah, I never even thought of that one, but I remember that track now. It is. What you got in number 10, Diz?
Number 10 here. Yeah, I'm start off easy here for me. I'm going with Bitches Ain't Shit on the Chronic. We got Dre, Daz, Corrupt, Snoop, and Jewel on the outro there towards the end.
Yep.
Now, looking back, if this was 1992 right now, we would have been like, who are all these new cats, man? And they just gelled together like they've been rapping for years, together. Mm-hmm. So that's one of an easy pick, I'd say. It's kind of a layup pick, but definitely couldn't forget about it. I was like, no, that one has to be on the list. So that's my number 10 right there. Bitches Ain't Shit.
It's amazing if you think how many new MCs were introduced on the Chronic. Daz, Corrupt, Snoop. I mean, Rage. Was that the first time we really heard Lady of Rage, probably?
I think so, yeah. I think so.
Yeah, it was. And for them to get together and sound so good together, gel, right. like a fine-tuned machine. Mm-hmm. It's unheard of.
All right, we're going to see who remembers my number 9. From 1995 on the soundtrack for the Panther, The Points.
The Points.
Is that the one with Bone Thugs and everybody?
Yeah, Notorious Big, Coolio, Redman, ton of people.
Everybody, yeah. That's
Biggie.
A great pick.
Biggie,
yes.
Bone Thugs, Big Mike from Ghetto Boys, Coolio, Busta Rhymes, Ill L Scratch, Helter Skelter, Jamal, Buckshot, Menace Clan, Diggable Planets, And on top of that, DJ Unique did this remix for it. That's even
Mhm.
better than the original.
Yeah.
That was literally the who's who of mid-90s rap all on one track.
Oh man, the publishing paperwork was a nightmare. That one.
I remember buying the single of it. I just bought like the maxi
Yeah, I had it
single
on
of
tape.
Yeah. So that's my number 9. I always loved that track, and it's got so many people on it. So what you got, Surreal, at number 9?
Number 9, I got Cypress Hill, Throw Your Hands in the Air, the remix that was actually on the EP that came out after Cypress Hill 3, the
Revamped?
And
Yeah,
revamped. Yeah. It's Be Real, Sen Dog, Eric Sermon, the Green Eyed Bandit, Redman Reggie, you know, and then MC8 was on there too. And they kind of changed the beat up when they had like samples from everybody else's songs, kind of mugged through them in there. And I just, it's kind of like a hidden gem. Like when I was going through and making the list, it was way down, and then I got to listen to it again, and I was like, oh, this goes in the top 10.
And that EP also had a remix
with Fuji.
with the Fugees, Boom Biddy Bye Bye, maybe. I remember liking that one.
Yeah, they did a video for both those. I mean, they were. I mean, obviously, UMTV Raps. You know, there was this big. You know, the format was different back then.
Sure.
And
all right, what you got, Raven, at number 9?
I also had the points because
nice.
like you said, who's who. I think it's funny, Bone Thugs and Harmony, all 4 of them reused their verses from like Faces of Death on the Bone Enterprise tape that came out a year before that. And I always laughed about that because me and Creepy were big fans of that particular album. But I love Buckshot, and you know, there was just everybody that mattered at the time was on that one song. So
it was a great, and if none of you heard the DJ Unique remix, I think that's even better than the original. Such a dope remix.
Easy Mo B made a great beat for that, but Unique just killed it. He had this very particular sound at the time.
Right. What do you got, Diz, at number 9?
Number 9, have you guys heard United Ghettos by Yuckmouth?
Oh, yeah, I do. I don't remember who was all on it though.
Okay, so United Ghettos Volume 1 here. The last track, he's got Hutch, 8, Mad Lion, Napoleon, and Edie from the Outlaws, and then, of course, himself. You know, here, Hutch, by Hutch, I mean Cold 187 of Above the Law. You know, this was at the point where I think Yuck might have been still in rap a lot, but kind of on his way out, starting to like do his own thing. So he had a lot of creative direction that, you know, he was like in charge of this whole project. And for him to put together these guys on this final track on the record was dope, I thought, especially when you got people like Hutch who weren't really making much music at that point. It was kind of like this little hidden gem for me anyways when I heard it. I was like, damn, man, Hutch, Outlaws, and 8 on the same track with Yuck. Damn, like I loved it. So legend after legend after legend. That's got to be one of my favorite Posse tracks right there.
All right, my number 8, we're taking it back to the old school. I could not have it on here because it's so groundbreaking. 1988, Marley Marl and the Juice Crew, the Symphony. You cannot have this on there because in 1988, crews weren't doing these, Posse tracks. And we're talking about Big Daddy Kane, Kool G Rap, Master Ace, and Craig G. And not only that, there's so many memorable lines. You know, when I think of Big Daddy Kane, I think of the line, put a quarter in your ass because you played yourself.
Yeah.
This might be one of top 5 verses ever by Kool G Rap. That alone. And I kind of bent the rules. There's 4 MCs, but Marley's talking on it, so I threw him in as a 5th. So that's what I got. The Juice Crew, 88, one of the first super dope Posse tracks. What you got, Surreal?
My number 8 is Demigod, Summer of Sam, Apathy, Blackistan, Rest in Peace, Esoteric, Motive, Self, and Ryu. That, like, I can't remember who produced the beat. It might have been Snow Goons, but don't quote me on that. It's just nuts. It's one of those tracks you play for somebody and they're like, whoa, who are these guys? But it's not real well known, and you know, it's a banger though. Summer of Sam, Demigod.
I'm gonna have to look that one up. I'm not familiar.
Yeah, it's one of those you put on repeat. Like you're like, oh, they murder it.
Yeah. What do you got at 8, Raven?
I got LL Cool J, Keith Murray, Fat Joe, Foxy Brown, and Prodigy with the I Shot You remix. I mean, aside from the fact that LL Cool J goes after a lot of people, including Ice-T in that song, Prodigy had one of the dopest verses in '95 on that song. And the beat is iconic to me. So
crazy, yeah.
I had to go with that and give LL some love.
Nah, that's a good one.
That's a great one.
What do you got, Diz, for number 8?
So number 8, I'm going down south here, and it might fall a little short, but it's you guys remember Sex Faces on the Scarface My Homie?
Oh yeah.
CDs
Definitely.
Yeah. So he had Tila, Devin, Short, and then himself. So it's 4 guys, but these guys are like from 4 different labels almost, Well, not really, Devin, at this point, Devin was just like coming up. This is like 1998, I believe, and then Tila just made the jump from Suave House to Rap a Lot, and then Too Short just proven that guy is just has that longevity, and all of them together on this video. They made the censored video, whatever, but the track was dope, I thought, and usually that type of shit isn't my style, but that one, it's a timeless track, man. I was like, yep, this one's dope. You put these guys all together, and they made something real dope. So they made a hit.
Tila's underrated. I love some of the old Tila Suave House stuff. I love that.
Tila used to produce his own shit, man. He was super talented.
Yep. All right, number 7. I'm staying in the 80s, but we're on the other coast. 1989, DOC featuring NWA Grand Finale.
Yep.
I believe, I could be wrong because it might be Above the Law is the last song, which is a Posse track with NWA, but I think Grand Finale was the last verse Cube did as a member of NWA.
Yeah.
But what I love about this song is it seems like everyone was trying to up the other. You had Cube come in and kill it. Ren came in and just upped him. Easy did Easy. But then at the end, DOC comes in and just he never gets in that car accident. He's looked upon as one of the best ever.
Definitely.
He was so damn amazing.
He's got a documentary coming out. Sorry to cut you off. Coming out like next week, I think.
Oh, really? I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah. Sometimes I make shit up, but I'm pretty sure that's real.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely peep that out because I'm a big fan. And the average person doesn't know, even after he lost his voice, he wrote so many classic verses on The Chronic, and he did all those Death Row, and just super mad talented. It sucks that he
Helter Skelter is a dope record. It was
Amazing
one of the
album.
first CDs that I bought.
Was it?
And
Yeah.
I can listen to it from beginning to end. Got the remix single and everything, and like him and Erotic D did some great tracks. So yeah, DOC is a classic, man.
Absolutely.
Yes.
There was a couple bangers on Deuce too. It wasn't all the way through. There's a posse cut with like Cube and Snoop on that.
What do you got? And number 7, Surreal.
Oh, is it me? I'm sticking in the kind of the 80s there on the cusp. Back from Hell remix Run DMC. Actually, I bet that'd be 91. I need to fact check myself next time. but the remix to Back from Hell, it's Run Dmc, JMJ. I'm counting that. R.I.P. Ice Cube and Chuck D from Public Enemy, and they Jam Master Jay kind of tweaked the beat a little bit, and it donks, but it's just on the single for Back from Hell.
I think that's 91 that album came out.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because I do remember that, and that was the album most people can agree was the worst Run DMC album, because all of a sudden they're doing New Jack Swing type tracks, like Pause was the single off of that.
Yeah, and Faces.
But there were some dope tracks on there that kind of mixed in.
Oh yeah, the Av.
The Av, yep. And they did Sucker DJs, play on Sucker MCs. Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's dope.
What do you got, Raven, at number 7?
I'm just gonna go ahead and scratch DOC Grand Finale off my list again. From my list last time, I love DOC. I love DOC, so I had to include him.
The way he comes in at the end, he just
he murdered that. Just literally murdered that shit.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, what you got, Diz? Grand Finale?
Nope. I actually had Grand Finale as number 1 here.
Oh, so do I. So let's wait. So do I.
So I'm just gonna say that one. I'm scratching it off. It's okay, but it's like the common like slam dunk, man. It's like of course Grand Finale,
right?
Of course. So, you know what? I'm gonna go with the 360 Degrees right now. That's from the 8-Ball Lost album, the double record.
Yeah, that was a dope album.
You guys remember that one?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Great album.
Is that the one with the blue on the front with the car?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Got the vulture in the desert.
Yeah, that's a dope album.
So that track had 8-Ball, Rappin' Forte, E40, Spice One, and of course Ant Banks on the beat. Woo!
Hell yeah.
Fire. Ant Banks arguably at his peak at this point.
Right.
At his finest era. So gotta love it. Suave House, of course, on top of their game at this point as well. MJG and 8-Ball were running it, man. And kind of introduced me to the South, to be honest. So love that record, love that track.
I got to go back and listen to that album. That was a good album.
Definitely.
Hell yeah.
That Lost album was real good, dope. Man. Yeah.
Yep. And E40, the guy just keeps improving, man. Like fine wine. It's crazy.
It is.
You listen to him back in, it's like, man, he was dope then, he's dope now, and Spice One does his thing
he has
on
the
it.
wine company now too.
I saw that.
That's
right.
That's right.
Earl Stevens.
It's crazy.
All right, number 6. I'm coming to 2021. DJ K Slay, he just passed away. Rest in peace. Rolling 50 Deep. Now I know after he did a Rolling 100 Deep, 100 MC posse cut. It was like 45 minutes long. But the Rollin' 50 came first. That was 50 MCs. And it was a mix of old school legends to more modern. And, just some of the names that spit on there. Ice-T, Twista, Bun B, E40, Melly Mel kills it. Grandmaster Kaz comes in, kills it. Papoose, members of the Locks, newer people like Benny the Butcher and John Connor, Royce 5'9", MOP, EA Ski, keeps going. I just love that track. I watched that video for that over and over when it dropped last year. So I'm giving some love to a new track, Rollin' 50 Deep. It's like 18 minutes long because it's got 50 MCs on it, but I would say 40 out of the 50 really kill it. So it made number 6 on my list. What you got?
Nice.
Real?
I got for my number 6. Today's actually the 10-year anniversary of MCA's death. Number 6 on my list. So What You Want, the Soul Assassin remix, MCA, Mike D, Ad Rock, BC Boys, and then Cypress Hill, B-Reels on it. Muggs did the remix, Soul Assassins, and then Sand Dog's not on the wax, but when they do it live, like I think it was Arsenio and some other shows, he's on it too. So Cypress and Beastie, So What You Want remix.
That's crazy that MCA's been gone 10 years already. That's one of my big regrets about, I've seen almost every person I grew up, but I never saw the Beastie Boys live. It's one of the few groups I never saw for whatever reason.
Yeah, I saw him on Hello Nancy tour with Tribe.
Nice.
Was that the tour where they were in the middle? They had a rotating stage, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen video of it. Shit.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. I wish I don't know why I didn't see him. I went to every
They come
other
out
concert.
the sure shot. It is
nice. Can never go wrong with some Beasties. What do you got, Raven? Number 6.
I got Big L, Lord Finesse, Granddaddy IU, Microphone Nut, and Artie Hardy with Jay-Z, The Graveyard from '95. I absolutely love Big L, and it was one of Jay-Z's early appearances before he even really found his own voice. And I just really dig that track for like that hip hop history reasons.
The first time I heard Jay-Z was on that track. That album is so, that Lifestyles of Poor and Dangerous. Damn, that's a good album.
And if he hadn't died, that's another one that
That's
I
another
think would
one,
have
yep.
definitely made more lists of the top.
Absolutely. Big L was crazy ahead of his time. You listen to that album, that's 95-ish. I mean, he was so ahead lyrically to the other MC. It was bananas how good he was.
Yes,
what do you got, Diz, at number 6?
I'll go with Make Him Say, Master P. Something
kind of a no-brainer.
Mystical. I thought it was a no-brainer. I was like, you know what?
I can't believe I didn't think of
No
that.
Limit doesn't
I
have
didn't
my
either.
favorite stuff, but this one, this is the one that made me like start collecting No Limit CDs, back in the day. That was the first track I heard from Master P, I believe. Yeah, it used to be all over the television, man. And it was wild. So I just heard it today too, and I was like, you know what? This track, it still bangs, man. It still bump. It holds up. I was like,
remember the beat always made me want to like,
list.
Punch someone. It's just
dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, it's a great beat.
Yeah, so Make Them Say, No Limit Records.
That one never even entered my mind. That's a good one. For me, number 5, we're going to another soundtrack in 95, same year as the Points. The 1 Million Strong soundtrack. Where You At? So this soundtrack was celebrating the Million Man March of that year. And they got the who's who. We're talking about on one track, Ice-T, Ice Cube, Chuck D, Cam, Mobb Deep, RZA, Shorty from the Lynch Mob, Killah Priest, and more, all on one track. So Where You At? You remember that track, Surreal?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was in, like, when first time I heard Peace Treaty and then on, I've always been a huge fan of Cam. He just, he got that knowledge, that 5%er knowledge, and I mean his lyrics. He's in his own lane.
So what is your number 5, Surreal?
My number 5 is Cool G Rap and DJ Polo, Two to the Head, with Scarface, Ice Cube, and Bushwick Bill off, I think it's their third album, Live and Let Die.
Yes, Live and Let Die.
That's kind of that. It's one of them, another one of them underground B-side bangers that's just like you put it on, you're like, ugh.
That one crossed my mind. It didn't make my list, but that is a great track. They all kill it.
Yeah.
What do you got, Raven, at number 5?
I got Sway King Tech, the anthem. That's got RZA, Tech 9, Eminem, Exhibit, Pheromone, Cool G Rap, Chino XL, and KRS-One is like the ringmaster. It was crazy. Eminem used that Mace's Eyebrows verse for like the 15th time. And Tech was in it. Yeah. And then Chino XL doesn't get enough love either, and he kills this track. He's probably my favorite verse on the track. And I like RZA, even though he don't really rap in that song. He just kind of Bobby Digital stutters, but I dug it.
Well, there's a video for that one too.
There is, yeah. It doesn't age well because I watched it a few years ago and it's very green screeny, but it's still dope that they got all them in there for the video.
Yeah.
The anthem will make an appearance later on in this list.
Didn't that the CD version of that actual album with DJ Revolution and those guys, wasn't it kind of like a sports flick where you moved it and it moved?
Yep. It was called This or That. They would go from like looking like old school B-boy to a more modern look.
That's right.
That whole compilation is amazing, actually.
It's a really good album.
It's a really good compilation. That's another one I got to peel back out. But the anthem is amazing. It might be the most lyrical lyricist all on one track.
Yeah, definitely.
Ever. So what do you got, Diz, at number 5?
Number 5, I'm going with Your Everything by Bun B, 2008. From his Rap-A-Lot record, Two Trill. So we got, Bun B, 8 Ball, MJG, David Banner, and Rick Ross on the same track there. I don't know if you guys remember that track at all, or with Bun B's efforts on Rap-A-Lot were pretty dope. There was no Pimp C on this. This was post Pimp C. Rest in peace. But that's one of my favorite posse cuts from the South, I would say. These were all rappers from the South, and the way they talk about the South, like they're from it, and they are, and whatever. They just kind of nail it home. And yeah, Bun B, found like his second wind at Rap-A-Lot, and he was doing some pretty good shit. Probably the best artist at that point before Rap-A-Lot shut its doors just a few years later. So that's what I got.
Number 4, I know Raven's gonna feel me on this one. 1994, South Central Cartel, Gangsta Team.
Gangsta Team.
So
might as well scratch. I'll go ahead and scratch that off. Scratching it off. That was number 1 for me. So,
oh man,
South Central Cartel did a bunch of dope posse tracks. They did one on the show soundtrack called "So What You Saying."
Yep.
They did No Peace on the Murder Squad one, which almost made my list. But Gangsta Team is damn near perfect. I mean,
every way.
In every way possible. Everyone kills it. South Central Cartel, Ice-T, Tupac, Spice One, MC8. I mean, it's as West Coast gangsta as West Coast can get. So dope. I can put that on every day for the rest of my life and still rock out to it. It's that good.
It comes on like number 1 of my riding playlist, like every time I get in my car. So
it's such an amazing posse track. So it had to be high on my list. Gangsta Team. What do you got, Surreal?
Number 4, back to Rap-A-Lot. Bring It On with like 90% of the roster. Too Low, Seagram, Too Much Trouble, Fifth Ward Boys, Odd Squad, Gangsta Nip, DMG from Minneapolis, Mr. Street 2, Big Mellow, and then Face is under 2. Bill, R.I.P. He's not on that track, but he's on that album. That's Till Death Do Us Part.
Yep. That is going to be my next one. And the best part about that is you got all these Southern art, all these Rap-A-Lot artists, they're doing it. And then Space goes last. He does that like little laugh and just comes in and murders it. It's the return of the motherfucking dreadlock, putting fools in a headlock,
Right. And Devin was in Odd Squad back then, right?
Yeah. No, that's a good one. That's my favorite Southern posse track by far. I mean, that's a good one. What do you got, Raven, at number 4?
I would have a different No Limit posse cut. Let's Get It Started from Mr. Servon, Sub the Shocker, Mia X, Master P, and I think Kane and Abel's in that song too. It was the first song on Mr. Servon's Life Insurance album, which is one of my favorite No Limit albums. I had 83 albums from them at one point, like everything from like Trust No One's Master P all the way through. They stopped making cassette tapes, so I quit collecting. High school, when every single week a new No Limit album was coming out, we were at the record shop every week. And none of them could rap, but I just really like the songs, you know what I mean? I love Mr. Servon, but he can't flow for shit, but it's just a fun song, so that had to make my list.
I agree that, you're not going to find, people with the skill of Chino XL and No Limit, but it was damn impressive what he did in late 90s. Because you're right, 98 or 99, I think it was literally every week a No Limit album. I mean,
that was like
that first Fiend album, though. Woo.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's some good ones. I mean, I like the Ghetto Dope album, even though I can say, Master P's not the best rapper, but when that first,
he really never could rap, but I love him.
Well, I had Seed Murder Poet Kicto with Underground Kings, but they didn't have enough. You hit those rules on me, so I had to.
Pimp C murders that song, dude. I love Pimp C's verse in that song.
So what do you got at number 4, Diz?
Number 4, I'm looking at old school shit from straight off the streets of motherfucking Compton. These guys are all in the same camp. However, it's Eazy-E, Gangsta Dresta, BG Knockout, Silky Fine, and DJ Yella on the beat for good measure. Probably the first time I heard Silky Fine. Blew my mind. I never heard her that aggressive again, and it was fucking dope. This was a few years, which used to seem like an eternity as a kid, from Eazy-E's last record, and he had already passed when this came out. So when I heard this for the first time, it just blew my mind. Like, I was like, oh shit, man, Ruthless is back on the map. And what can you say about Dresta and BG Knockout, man? Those guys were like born to be on that Ruthless label. So
it
was a It was a dope track, classic track, and it hit home, man. I was like, damn. E was on top of his game when he did that shit.
Yeah, that's a great record.
That's what I got.
All right, we're at number 3. Mine was Bring It On by the Ghetto Boys. I think I said you named most of the MCs on it. Scarface kills it at the end. So Ghetto Boys Bring It On was my number 3. What do you got, Raven?
No Peace, South Central Cartel, Ice-T, Spice One, and Banks, Boss, Tretch, and I think a few other people were in it. 95 on the Murder Squad release. You know, from my West Coast Roundtable, I give a lot of love to South Central Cartel, and their production was top notch West Coast gangster rap for years and years and years. So anytime I can squeeze them on a list, they're going to be pretty high up. And plus, you still had Ice-T and Spice One, and you know, it clicked.
Yeah, that almost made my list because I love that track too. And that Murder Squad album, so underrated.
Yeah, the whole album's nasty.
Yeah, I totally agree. What do you got, Diz, at number 3? Did I skip you, Surreal?
Yeah, that's
I think
okay,
you did.
No worries.
No, go Surreal. That's my bad.
So, my number 3 is La Coca Nostra, Fuck Tony Montana, Ill Bill, Everlast from House of Pain, Stick Jackin' from Cycle Round, Be Real from Cypress, Slain from Boston. I mean, dun, 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 dun. Fuck Tony Montana, we kill kids. I mean, that shit is just, if you play that right now, I'd probably punch the screen and eat the glass. That's wrong. That's ridiculous.
That's how I feel when I hear 3-6 Mafia tear the club up. I just want to punch someone.
Fuck yeah.
So hype. All right, Diz, now for real, your turn, number 3.
Number 3, I am going here with Set It Off from The Last Meal, Snoop Dogg. Anybody remember that track?
That is that track.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dope. Ren on it, right?
Oh, yeah. We're doing it again. Grab your hoe and get the fuck out of town. Yeah. So, yeah, we got Snoop, Ren, Lady of Rage, Nate Dogg, and Ice Cube on the hook. Just a classic, man. Bringing Lady of Rage back to do some shit on there, classic. And of course, you can't go wrong with Ren, especially when he comes correct like he did on this record. Became one of my favorite Snoop tracks of all time, and classic.
That is a good one. That beat, I can hear that beat in my head. It was a dope beat too. All right, my number 2 was the Sway and Tech, the anthem. We covered it. Yeah. So lyrical, so damn lyrical. Like you said, Eminem, Chino XL, Tech 9, Exhibit, KRS-One, Cool G Rap, Pharoah Monch, RZA, J.O. Felony even came in there and did some of his what. And mad dope song. Love the anthem. What you got, Surreal, at number 2?
My number 2, the last song, Above the Law, ATL, Living Like Hustlers, that first release, KMG, Hutch, 187, Dre, Ren, and Easy. Cube is not on that one. He was gone by then.
He was gone.
In New York, but that was like the pinnacle. That early Ruthless stuff was like just from it, like NWA and the Posse and the singles till even to the last couple Easies.
Right.
I mean, if it had the Ruthless logo on it, like the vinyl had the red, but even the CDs and
fire.
Ruthless, I'd buy it.
Absolutely, yep.
Kid Frost. What was the Jewish group on Ruthless?
Jewish.
Blood of Abraham.
Blood of Abraham, yeah.
Oh, I forgot all about them.
All that Ruthless stuff. Yomo and Marty. And,
who then went into the beat in the lynch mob.
Right. But they had that burn the flag, and I was like, what's going on? This is amazing.
There was a good time there in the 90s where you could just like cruise the cassettes at the store and just look for that Ruthless logo and be like, oh, I never heard of this guy. You know, like they had some like Stefan, you know, I was like, I'll check it out, you know, and then that they just don't make them like that anymore, man. No. Like where you could just buy off a label without even knowing the artist because you trust it. That shit don't happen no more. It was dope.
No. Menage a Trois, he had on in the early 90s, that album I can picture.
Yeah. They were on that Easy Christmas song too, weren't they?
Yeah, they were on Merry Motherfucking Christmas. Yep. I play that every year at Christmas. That every year I gotta listen to that track. That's my
That's
Christmas
dope.
spirit.
5150, that's dope.
Yeah. Number 2, Raven, we're on you.
I got LL Cool J, Method Man, Redman, Cannabis, DMX, and Master P with the 4-3-2-1. That song was I love everybody on that track, basically. DMX was right at his prime. Master P was still doing Master P things. And of course, the LL Cool J and Cannabis beef started from this song over a misunderstanding. And LL Cool J went on to do the Ripper Strikes Back, which is one of my favorite diss songs of all time. So that's this song right here started that shit. So
we
and plus you had Eric Sermon on that beat, and that beat was fire. So
I was trying to remember this the other day. The Ripper Strikes Back was a bonus CD at like Best Buy and places on somebody else's album.
No, you know what it was? It was
there was the
DMX. If I'm wrong, I think it's Dark and Hell is Hot. They had
it came with a bonus disc,
a Def Jam bonus disc. And that's where the
4 albums came with 4 different bonus discs with different tracks from other Def Jam artists.
Right.
El Nino from EPN or from Def Squad. Onyx, all we got is, Shut Them Down from Onyx. And I think Redman's Docs the Name 2000 was the 4th disc.
Was it?
And they all had different bonus discs. So.
Nice.
Were those bonus discs called Survival of the Illest, maybe?
Yes, sir. Yeah, volumes 1 through 4.
And
Yep. And LL was on disc 1. So.
Yeah, Ripper Strikes Back. He just murders Cannabis.
Oh yeah.
All right, Diz, what you got at number 2?
And number 2, man, I had the last song. So, I don't want to scratch it off the list. I'm just going to leave it because you're right. It was such a classic. It was a great track, What can you say about A Hungry Ruthless back in the day, with hardly any real competition except for Ice Cube himself,
right?
So it's good shit.
All right, we made it to the end. Number 1. No one has mentioned my number 1. Easily the greatest collection of MCs on one song ever. I don't care what anyone says. Plus, it's got a positive message for the kids. 1990s, we're all in the same gang. We're talking about Ice-T, Eazy-E, Ren, Dre, Digital Underground, King T, Above the Law, Tone Loc, even Young MC and MC Hammer came in there. Michelle A singing the hook, JJ Fad. I loved that record when that dropped in 90. The East Coast.
I don't remember that song, man.
What? You gotta.
Yeah, I just wrote it down.
We're all in the same gang. It's got everyone from 90s West Coast on there.
They performed it on Arsenio, and the video was on rotation on Yo Rap.
Right. I can't believe you don't remember. That was it was like their version.
It's not sticking right now. Yeah. Hell yeah. I have to check it. I'm sure it'll spark a memory, but I can't think of it right now.
It is just the who's who of 1990s West Coast. They all drop verses on it. It's like a 12-minute song.
Hell yeah.
So we're all in the same gang. They called themselves the West Coast Rap All-Stars, I believe. But I know the titles were all in the same gang. So what do you have at number 1? Surreal?
Well, I'm copying everybody's homework, but Diz got the hat, and it made me think it's the grand finale. Yo, it's my turn to bust.
Nice.
God damn it. Dre on the intro.
So
see, we've already talked about it. Grand finale, like that gives me, I can put that in right now and it'll give me goosebumps. I probably, other than maybe License to Ill or Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses, DOC's first album, No One Could Do It Better, is probably the most copies I've ever bought of one album in my life. Yeah. It had, probably like 7, 8 copies of it.
What do you got, Raven, at number 1?
It was Gangsta Team.
That's right.
MCI, Ice-T, Spice One, Tupac, and SCC. Again, I love South Central Cartel, and Ice-T, Pac, and everybody came fire. Like everybody just blew this. That beat was perfect. I love that fucking song.
It is. It's so dope. What made number 1 for you, Diz?
Grand Finale made number 1 for me. Ruthless growing up was my favorite label, man. So I had everything. So that track is near and dear and special, and it's number 1, man. Yeah, like what was said earlier, man. They all kind of came in and trying to out rap each other and shit, and especially Cube and Ren, you know, both of them hella talented and just showing off their stuff. And it's funny the effort that they put into it, not knowing that years later they would blow that shit out of the water with some of the other shit that they'd be writing. So good track.
Absolutely.
Classic album. And the DOC, I love that guy, man. So still out there doing his thing, man. He's still working. So
I wanted to give some honorable mentions. If no one, I made a list of ones that just missed it. And if no one, a lot of them you guys talked about. But one I'm surprised made no one's list was Scenario by Tribe Called Quest. That didn't make anyone's list?
I had Scenario and Self-Destruction, but I thought
Self-Destruction?
everybody else mentioned those, so I did it.
Self-Destruction was my next honorable mention.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I talked about So What You Saying by Soul Central Cartel. And you know what another dope Posse track is? Remember when Nas did that Where Are They Now? Then he did all these remixes. He did a West Coast one.
And a West version,
Oh yeah, that's
an
right.
80s one, a 90s one. All three of those I really liked. They weren't good enough to make my list, but I wanted to give them some love. Otherwise, everything else on here, you guys, one of us mentioned. So those are the top 10 Posse tracks. Some of us have some homework. Got to go back and revisit some of these tracks.
Oh, hell yeah.
I appreciate you guys taking the time. Have a good night.
Peace out, guys.
Stay blessed.
Thanks, bro.
See ya.
B-boy, from the old to the new, still a B-boy. Too bold for the school, still a B-boy. East Coast to the West, B-boys worldwide, we supposed to be blessed. Still a B-boy, from the old to the new, still a B-boy. Too bold for the school, still a B-boy. East Coast to the West, B-boys worldwide, we supposed to be blessed.
Hey, yo, I got an itchy tongue, call it a trigger finger, cause it spits raps. Instead of peeling caps, I blow your dome back, so throw that. Whack round my way, sit down and check this style out. Take notes but don't bite and try to eliminate my clout. I'm out for blood, hunting like a predatorial species. You couldn't beat me if you was up early and had your WTs. You can't see me, you blind like Stevie. To the fact that I'm still a B-boy, spitting sharp over this fire track. These new rappers whack, they need to hang it up, put it away. They freshman style wet, and I'm hanging out to dry so they gets no play. Whether it's for a radio, they need to play it low key, cause MCing for them is not the way to go. It's not what you say, but how you deliver it. So if you poetically inclined but can't articulate, it's useless. See, I do this with ease. It's like a natural born talent for me to speak on beats and get this thing straight crack.
Still a B-boy, from the old to the new, still a B-boy. Too bold for the school, still a B-boy. East Coast to the West, B-boys worldwide, we supposed to be blessed. Still a B-boy, from the old to the new, still a B-boy. Too bold for the school, still a B-boy. East Coast to the West, B-boys worldwide, we supposed to